My wife secretly gave away our savings to her ex. Now she's asking me to sell my late mother's house to repay the debt. Hello Reddit I plus here. I don't know where to start. I'm sitting in my car right now in front of my late mother's house. The one I inherited. The one I haven't had the heart to sell yet. And I just found out my wife has been lying to me for months. Maybe longer. I feel like an idiot. But I need to get this out because if I don't, I'm going to explode. My wife, Lena, and I have been married for 5 years. I met her at a mutual friend's wedding. She was charming, smart, had this quiet confidence about her. We dated for about a year and a half before getting engaged. Back then, I had just started getting back on my feet financially after a few rough years. Student loans, layoffs, all that. Lena had a stable job in HR and didn't seem to care that I wasn't where I wanted to be yet. She said she believed in building a future together. Fast forward to last year. Things were finally looking up. I landed a job with a solid company, and between that and Lena's income, we were saving steadily. We had around $82,000 between our joint savings and a high-yield account we were putting away for a house. I also inherited my mom's house after she passed. It's a modest 3-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood. I couldn't bring myself to sell it, not yet. Lena wasn't close to my mom. I always got the sense she felt like my mother was too involved, even though my mom honestly just wanted to help. She was the kind of woman who showed up with soup if you sneezed. Not perfect, but she had a good heart. She passed from cancer, and it destroyed me. Lena was supportive, or at least she played the part. Okay, back to the present. 2 weeks ago, I noticed something odd. I went to check our savings account to move some money into a CD, and it was almost empty. Literally less than $600 left. My heart stopped. I refreshed the page thinking it was a glitch. I checked the transaction history, and that's when I saw it. Multiple withdrawals over the past 8 months, ranging from $5,000 to $15,000. Always in lump sums, always transferred to the same external account. I didn't recognize the account. I thought maybe we were hacked. I called the bank in a panic. After a lot of back and forth, the bank confirmed that Lena had authorized every single transfer. I didn't confront her immediately. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, stupid as that sounds. Maybe she had a reason. Medical bills? A secret investment? I don't know. I didn't want to believe she'd just stolen from us. So I waited. That night, I told her I'd noticed a weird bank error and asked if she knew anything about it. She froze. Then she said something that made my stomach turn. I was going to talk to you about it. No apology. No panic. Just that. After some pushing, the story came out in layers. Apparently, her ex-boyfriend, a guy named Aaron, had reached out almost a year ago. He was in a bad place, financially and emotionally. He'd made some poor business decisions, got mixed up in debt, and didn't have anyone else to turn to. According to Lena, she felt morally obligated to help him. Said she couldn't let him end up on the street, so she started sending him money. Not once, not twice, but 8 times. She sent him over $78,000, all behind my back. I asked her if she'd lost her mind. She said she was trying to do the right thing, that she thought she could help him get back on his feet, and he'd eventually pay it back. You want to know the kicker? They met up in person. She swore it was just lunch, multiple times. She said nothing happened, that she didn't feel anything for him anymore, that it was about closure. Closure? She stole our future and handed it over to a guy she used to sleep with. For closure? When I asked how she thought this would end, she started crying and said she'd been panicking, and that she thought she could fix it before I noticed. She actually tried to frame this as her being overwhelmed and making a mistake out of compassion. I asked her why she never came to me, why she didn't tell me Aaron had contacted her in the first place, why she thought it was okay to drain everything we saved without even mentioning it. She had no answer, just tears. Then last night, she dropped the real bomb. Maybe we could sell the house, just until we recover. We could buy something smaller together later. I stared at her. That house is all I have left of my mother. I haven't even packed up her bedroom yet. I go there sometimes just to sit. It's not just property. It's memory. It's grief. It's the smell of her lavender lotion still in the sheets. And Lena wants me to sell it because she gave our savings to her ex-boyfriend. I didn't say anything. I just walked out. I've been at the house since. I checked the external account again this morning. Remember how I said all the transfers went to the same place? I dug a little deeper. Used a few tools I probably shouldn't have access to, but I needed answers. And I got them. The account isn't Aaron's. It's hers, under a different last name. Her maiden name. She didn't give the money to her ex. She funneled it into a separate account and made it look like she was helping him. I don't know why yet. Maybe it was always a lie. Maybe she did reconnect with him, and they planned to run away with the money. Maybe he's not even involved, and this was just an excuse in case I caught her. I don't know. All I know is that she's been lying to me for almost a year, not just about the money, about who she is, and now she wants me to sell my mother's house to cover it up. I haven't told her I know. Not yet. I needed to sit with it. I needed to let the weight of it settle before I decide what comes next. I told my best friend. Let's call him Brian. He's the kind of friend who doesn't sugarcoat anything. When I laid it all out, every transfer, every lie, the secret account under her maiden name, he just shook his head and said, "You're sitting on a landmine, man. That's not a mistake. That's a plan." He's right. I don't know how I didn't see it sooner. Lena's not impulsive. She's calculated, strategic. She remembers anniversaries I forget. She builds color-coded spreadsheets for our monthly budget. She doesn't accidentally move $78,000 into an account under her old name. This wasn't her helping an ex. This was her siphoning our life out through a straw while smiling at me across the dinner table. I did more digging. I found something else. The account wasn't just sitting there. Money was moving. Transfers to a second checking account, Zelle payments to names I didn't recognize, a payment to an Airbnb in Vermont, a furniture store in New Jersey, one payment labeled Deposit, DLS Agency. I looked it up. It's a relocation service. For people moving internationally. Lena isn't helping someone. She's leaving. Or at least, she was planning to. I finally confronted her last night. I waited until after dinner. I didn't want an audience, and I didn't want to yell. I needed to watch her, to see if she'd lie with her eyes again. I told her I'd gone back through the account. She looked nervous. I told her I knew it wasn't Aaron's, that it was hers, that the transfers weren't gifts, they were laundering. She didn't deny it. At first, she just sat there, silent. Then she said, "I was going to tell you," that phrase again, like a scratched record, like saying it makes her blameless. I asked her what the plan was. Was she going to vanish one day? Leave a note on the fridge? Steal the house too? She said something that gutted me. "You were never going to leave that house. I knew you'd never sell it no matter how much we needed it. I was going to wait until it got unbearable, then maybe you'd let go." Let go? Of my mother's house? I realized then that she didn't just lie, she didn't just steal. She watched me mourn, watched me retreat into that house when I couldn't function. And she still saw it as leverage. I asked her what she did with the money, who she was planning to run off with. She got angry, said it wasn't like that she was protecting herself, that she felt like she was losing herself in our marriage, that she needed an exit plan just in case. That's what she called it, an exit plan, like I'm a job she's outgrown. She said Aaron was just a cover, that he did reach out, but they never reconnected. She saw an opportunity, someone I couldn't question, someone with just enough of a history to make it plausible, and she ran with it. She used him as a decoy, used me as a financial crutch, and used my grief as a distraction. I asked her one last question. "Were you ever planning to tell me?" She didn't answer. That was all I needed. So here's where I am now. I've frozen our joint accounts. I opened a new one in my name only. I've scheduled a consultation with a divorce attorney for next week. I moved into my mother's house this morning. I'm sleeping in my childhood bedroom tonight. It's quiet, dusty, but it's mine. I called her bluff, told her the house isn't going anywhere. She has 48 hours to decide if she wants to come clean legally or wait for the subpoena. And yeah, I'm pressing charges. She transferred funds under false pretenses. That's not just betrayal, it's fraud. You know the worst part? I'm not even as angry as I should be. I'm just hollow, tired. Like I've been holding up a wall for years and suddenly realized there's no one on the other side. I don't know what hurts more, losing the future I thought we were building, or realizing she never believed in it in the first place. It's over. Lena moved out 3 days ago. She didn't fight it, didn't apologize, just packed her things in silence, avoiding eye contact the way cowards do when they run out of stories to tell. The lawyer handled the paperwork. Clean break. No assets left to split. Nothing to argue over except the damage she left behind. I didn't press charges, not because she didn't deserve it. She did. But because I realized something. There's no satisfaction in punishing someone who was never sorry. You can't bankrupt someone who was already morally bankrupt to begin with. I kept the house. That was never even a question. And yesterday, I opened the windows for the first time in months. Let the air in. Let the grief breathe. I found one of my mom's old scarves in the closet, still folded the way she left it. I cried for the first time since the truth came out. Not for Lena, for everything I ignored. For the parts of me that bent so hard to keep the peace, they nearly snapped. For how small I let myself become in someone else's shadow. This isn't a love story. It's a survival story. And I survived. I'm not who I was a month ago, and thank God for that.